All right, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far here. I am super excited. Today is the Saturday Archstare stream. It is my favorite stream of the week. Hey, Alex. Also, my beautiful wife is here, and Feisty's here, and we got LLSP here. Hell yeah. I'm super excited, guys. So, for those of you who don't know, I do a pin post every single week on my Blue Sky account. You can submit your artwork and I will show it off to the world every single Saturday. So make sure you find me on Blue Sky if you would like to participate. Just call you Lin Lin. Okay, sounds good. Will do. Hey, Pensy. Um, Anyway, what we're going to do first before that, though, is we're going to spin the wheel again to see who wins the next OC art raffle here. I have 10 submissions, so I have just enough, but if you want to participate in this as well, make sure that you join my Discord, and then you can place your OCs into the OC art raffle channel, and I will use that to pick from. So let's go ahead and let's hop on over to that so you guys can see, and we'll see who wins this time. Impa just had like crazy luck, like winning the very first rolls like both times. So, all right, let's see who wins this time. Oh shit, the winner is John John 117 or John John 117. Hell yeah. I hope he's doing all right. I haven't heard from him in a little while, so I'll have to tell him the good news that I am going to be working on his succubus character. Hell yeah. Nice. That's cool. Oh yeah, I love John John. He's so nice. He's like one of the nicest people ever. Well, congratulations to John John. Let me go ahead and actually we're gonna make the folder here. Why can't I select it? All right, so let's see. Let's make a little folder hit for him before I forget. Got that, and stick his OC into that folder. I just have to do this because I will 100% forget. I'll be like, who the hell won? Oh, yeah. All right. Ooh, I got a lot of. Ooh, my wife has participated in the art share? Hell yeah. I'm excited. Go ahead and go on over to the art share now. And I'll go ahead and click on this. All right, very first submission today, we have Keychain again here, always on top of it. Thank you so much for, making sure that you always post and you post early. That's great. They wrote, "Hello, here are my other artworks." Oh yeah, so we have the vampire and person one again. I don't know your characters' names here. If you wouldn't mind like leaving at least like some information maybe about like their names or their like, maybe a little brief synopsis about like their interactions here, that would help me talk about it a little bit better. But I really like the Polaroids or like these like really cute, like kind of like almost like pixel art kind of drawings. Like I think that's super, super cute. But it looks really, really nice. I like your style. I love how dramatic and cinematic your artwork looks. It's fantastic. Go to the next one here. And again, we have them hanging out while she's taking some pictures, and he's like maybe giving her either some like advice or encouragement about how to take the shot, or he's just like whispering like, "Hey, you're my juice box, and I can't wait to take a sip. So, her name is Capri Sun, and his name is like, I don't know, Lestat or something. Let's go on to the next one here. Ooh, I like this one. That's a pretty cool concept there, having like, I don't know if the lighting is red or if the mirror itself is covered in blood, and then they're wiping away the blood to see, you know, the other character in the mirror. That'd be pretty sick. It could also be shower fog, but it'd be, I don't know, I thought it'd be really, my little headcanon is if this was blood and he was wiping it away from the mirror, that would be like really, really cool, like a really cool image. Yo, Nympha! Welcome, welcome. But yeah, it's really cool. Maybe that's what vampires see. Yeah. They see their victims in the mirrors. Or their, lovers or, whoever they're thinking about. We even got like the hand mirroring here too. I like it. That's cool. That's a cool composition. This one's a really cool composition right here. I remember that they submitted this one before. I really liked it. Oh yeah, that's true. Maybe, you know what? Maybe this is the vampire version of them. Maybe they're not two separate characters. Maybe one is like their human form when they were a human and then they became a vampire. I really like this one. This one is like super cool. Got it like an arm over here, like a severed arm. This one's like very much like a horror vibe right here, and I really like that. All right, so that was everything from Keychain. They have very cool, art between their two characters here. I would love to learn more about these characters. That would be absolutely great. It would also help me, comment and speak on your artwork a little bit more. Maybe give the people some information about, like, whatever story you have going along with them. It's also totally okay if you're submitting artwork that doesn't have any, like, story or world building like added to it. Oh damn, we got Pensy up next. Hell yeah, Pensy was on top of things. Pensy is amazing too, by the way. One of my favorite people on here. I'm at 4 months into my digital from now, so I just wanted to show my first digital art and my newest one to see how much better I'm getting. I hope you think me growing good. Hell yeah. I'm always impressed by your growth. You were like killing it. Like this first one was really, really good to start with. Like especially for like your first like digital drawing, you did a really good job with it. I really liked it. Yeah, I know them. And then we have 4 months later, we have this like Code Vein one that they did. So you got a lot more detail going on here. You have more like shading going on. Looks really, really nice. You even have like not only like a regular light source, but you also have a rim light. So yeah, definitely like skyrocketing in your digital techniques here for sure. Like it looks really, really nice. And then we've got another post from you down here. So happy birthday to my sister. I did a pic of their main OC, Ryuzaki, in cosplay as Jax from the Amazing Digital Circus. She loved it. Hope you do too. Oh, of course. Oh, this is so cute. Oh my god. So the pollen here is going insane. Everything is yellow outside, so I'm probably going to be clearing my throat a lot. So I do apologize for that. I love the little thing mouse. They're so cute. You got the heart and the iris, which is also super adorable. This kind of posing is also really difficult, like having the cross legs and everything. Oh, wait. Seeing some differences here. So this is the flats. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. My voice is getting hoarse. So we got like some pink highlights in the hair now, which is looking really cool. And now they got the little like the bunny ears that are sticking out and everything, so it's like an evolution here. It's like a Pokemon evolution. That's great. I love it. Digital Circus is a show that grew on me. I didn't like it at first, but these few latest episodes got intense. I still haven't watched it yet. I was a little confused at first whether it was like a children's show or not, but I see that it's like really, really popular, and it seems like it's almost like a psychological like horror or whatever. So definitely have to check it out. I really like Glitch Studios in general because they give a lot of people the opportunity to make their like their shows come to life. Like I'm super excited that Knights of Guinevere is getting like an actual series. That makes me really happy. If you guys haven't watched the pilot episode, I really recommend going on their YouTube and watching Knights of Guinevere. It's really good. All right, so that is everything from Pensy. Pensy is super awesome. They are sick right now, recovering from COVID. Make sure you're super nice to them. Send them lots of love and hugs and soup until they get better. And of course, like they're like in comment on their artwork. All right, we have Lin Lin up next. Lin Lin is in our chat today. Woohoo! Lin Lin wrote, "Hello, Aniki. Thanks for the art share. You're very welcome." The pilot isn't a pilot; it's a full promo episode, so it's really yeah, it's like super high quality. I'm working on multiple art projects right now, and nothing is done. So here's some older pieces. Hey, nothing wrong with that at all. Oh hell yeah, we got Narumi from Kaiju number 8 pushes his hair back after slicing a kaiju in half. His custom weapon is supported on his shoulder. His power still activated, his eyes glow pink, and his body is outlined with his pink energy signature. Hell yeah, I love Kaiju number 8. It's so good. And I like his eyes a lot. How he's got like the little like crosses in his eyes are like really, really cool. Yeah, you did a really good job with this. Like you got like the lighting, like the backlighting going on here. You got like it really like soft around the edges, and then most of the shadows in the front. And then you've got his pink energy to really like separate the values from the background. So I think it's looking awesome. You're doing a really good job on this. Go to the next one. We got some more Kaiju number 8. Following the previous image, a chibi version of Narumi strikes a pose in front of a defeated kaiju. His right hand man is instructing the new newbie Kafka and Kikoru to not feed on his ego. Kafka is sparkled eyed, while Kikoru just can't bring herself to be impressed by Narumi. Captain Narumi, that is so cool. Don't show him any excess respect, it will go to his head. Don't worry, I have none to show, even if I tried. That is awesome. I love it. Yeah, this is yeah. I mean, this would be me. Like I'd actually be a combination. I'd probably be somewhere in between these two. Like the first time he did it, I'd be like, yeah, that's really cool. And then I would shift to her like after that. I'd be like, all right, bro, let's dial it back. So the anime slash manga is called Kaiju number 8. It's really, really good. Essentially giant monsters aka kaiju have been coming out of the ground. They've been attacking Tokyo, so they are all parts of a organization, the Defense Force for Japan. So these like suits that they wear bring out like their like potential they have. So they have like, this guy's a captain, so he has like, yeah, kind of like Pacific Rim without the mechs, because the actual characters have like weapons and suits that are actually made of like kaiju parts that allows them to like amplify their strength, and they have different like, some of them have like different elemental attributes and stuff, like she has like lightning attributes. And the main character here, Kafka, is has always wanted to be part of the Defense Force, and then he actually gets taken over by a kaiju himself. So he's kaiju number 8. And they, I don't want to spoil too much. You should watch it. It's really good. Kafka is hilarious because he's like a total dummy boy, and they kind of draw him like a in the anime. He kind of looks like he has like kitty face. So yeah, it's really good. I like it. And then we have a half body portrait of Smoke from Mortal Kombat 1, where he's flexing his bicep while holding his blade. His back is slightly turned away from the camera, while his face is turned towards the camera. Smoke obscures his back. I do like that they finally went through and gave all the ninja characters from Mortal Kombat like their own styles and like identities, like because originally they were all just like a recolor reskin of like the same like dude in a ninja costume. Like they had different abilities, which was cool, but like visually they really didn't look a lot different. So this is pretty awesome. I love this. I love like, the smoke here. This is really good for like composition as well. You got like the lighter value in the front, and then you have the darker value here. And then you've done the rim lighting to kind of like cut him out from the background to make sure that he doesn't bleed into the background. So you did a really, really good job with that. This looks excellent. Oh yeah. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat game since what was the last one I played, I think, was the first 3D Mortal Kombat. I think it's the last Mortal Kombat that I ever played. Again, my friends were just like way too good at fighting games, so fighting games became not fun for me, getting infinitely juggled and never like landing a strike. So I stopped playing fighting games for a long time. I have been I have been interested in maybe picking up like maybe something like Street Fighter 6. I do have Guilty Gear Strive. Um the only thing like I love Guilty Gear, but I was a little disappointed that the story mode there isn't like an actual story mode. Like the story mode is you just like watch a story like an anime. I liked actually going through like the fights and then getting a little bit of story in between. But Street Fighter 6 looks pretty cool because you can like make your own character and you can like run around the city and actual do like actual street fighting. So that seemed pretty cool. Ooh, and then we got Bloodline from Marvel Comics standing with a katana on her shoulder. She is posed in front of a red circle with the side profile of her father Blade reflected upon it. Oh, I didn't know he ever had a kid in the comics. Of course, I haven't read like any like excuse me, American comics since like I don't know, probably like the 2000s. Like I used to pick up like Marvel, but I would mostly buy like Dark Horse and like Image Comics were like my thing, so yeah, she looks really cool. I like it. Oh yeah. And this is like really cool like compositionally here. He's almost like you could almost like if you wanted to, you could have like splatter coming off this, like it's like a drop of blood, so they're like connected by blood, and of course they're like Dampiers as well. So, you know, that would be a cool way to kind of like, I don't know, thematically like tie it all together. So, looks awesome. Vampire Trunks is hotter than Future Trunks. Correct. I like it. Hell yeah. All right, so that was everything from Lin Lin. Super awesome stuff. This all looks really good. I cannot wait to see the new art projects you're working on. But I love seeing your progress, your older work. All this is really solid, really fantastic. So thank you so much for putting it in there. So yeah, yeah, it's female vampire Trunks forever now, solidified in our minds, like seared into our cortexes. All right, next up we have Sarah McKenzie. Thanks for the art share. Hey, you're super welcome. I make fantasy and sci-fi illustration, all digital. Lots of it involves dragons, and most of it is creature concept art. Here is an older artwork I have not shared in a while. Ooh, I like his face is like totally like judging someone here. Creature concept spine worm orange. Digital artwork of a speculative evolution inspired dragon creature. It has a Spinosaurus shaped head for catching fish. Oh, so the functionality, I see. A Spinosaurus sail and pebbly theropod scales. Rows of red bulging veins run down its orange neck and tail. Blue markings adorn its wings and tail tip. It upholds its body using its wings, which are tipped with three-fingered hands. Its back feet are vestigial flipper-like appendages that point backwards off the back of its torso. Its long neck is arched, drooping downwards in the middle, but curving up to support the head on the very end. Hell yeah. I like it. This is like a wild creature here. The veins are just like crazy here. Like the fact that like they're like so bulgy, they're like going through the scaling. Really, really crazy, but they always do like such a good job of like representing the scales in a way that doesn't make the image too busy. You know, that is always like a constant compliment that I'll definitely give them because like you know, sometimes when you do stuff like this where it's like really high detailed, it makes the image too busy, but they do an excellent job. That's a lot of work. Especially since each individual scale has shading and a highlight. That's like nuts. But yeah, I really, really like this. I like how there is purposeful like function to like the anatomy. Works out really, really well. You would probably still hug it though, Pensy, because you know you don't discriminate when it comes to your hugs, right? Oh yeah, that's really cool. I really like this. I love seeing like Sarah's like creature and concept design artwork. I need to start designing some creatures myself. Maybe that's something I should work on coming up here. So, oh hell yeah, yeah, she's definitely pro status for sure. Like I'm super excited too because like I said many times, like another purpose for like creating my Twitch here is not only to like showcase your work, but I'm also gathering talent for when we have our studio. That way we can all work together and we can have like finished projects because we'll have, you know, a whole wide variety of super amazing artists that all have like different aspects that they can contribute to projects. So trying to make everything like collaborative, like, you know, I feel like artists don't collaborate enough, like on team projects. So, hell yeah! All right, so that is everything for Sarah Mackenzie. As you can see, she is super talented, very, very creative. I love the also the analytical and the functional thinking behind the designs rather than like, hey, this just looks cool, so I put it here. So, really great stuff. Oh yeah, we got Hobby here. Hobby wrote, "Hey, that's my last finished work, a new version of Kazuya." Hell yeah. I always love seeing Hobby's work. Like Hobby puts out so much artwork. Like Hobby puts like all of us to shame with like how much artwork they do on like the regular basis. And it's like fully like rendered work. Like they've got something new like almost every like I would say 2 to 3 days they got something new that they put out, which is awesome. Yeah, don't let me even design all the creatures. They will be monster waifus and hope husbandos. Hey, hey, we need that. We definitely we need the rabid monster fucker fan base to fund all of our projects. So let's go. Yeah, it's so good. Like you know, they've got all of like the various like ways that the armor and the leather working is like connected together. Like, you've got like the functional aspects of it, like you have the chainmail underneath to make sure that they're completely protected here. You got a nice little crotch cover going on. Yeah, I like this. I love how it's like a mix of like high fantasy and still having like a decent amount of like functionality to like, their armor and stuff like that. So, looks really really good. It looks like they're like hanging out in like a volcanic area. Uh Almost kind of like a Mordor kind of like thing going on here. Or actually no, it's a battlefield. This is just fire and this is a castle and this is just smoke from it. I just misinterpreted it at first. But yeah, it looks fantastic. Super great stuff. I love it. And they also are like super active in the art community. They do a lot of art share posts themselves. So make sure you keep an eye out for their art share so you can also participate. But that is everything from Hobby. Like I said, nothing but praise. Like Hobby is always so cool and so good, and they always pump out so much work. Very impressive. All right, we have Jupiter Planet. Oh, by the way, guys, Jupiter Planet has also started streaming. I am going to attempt to, anybody who streams, please let me know, and I will do my best to try and show up to your streams. If I see it, I don't want everybody just to show up for mine. It is a two-way street here. We can all support each other. So Jupiter Planet Road, all traditional again. One is Jadiana wearing an outfit for spring/summer festival. Two is a chibi Jadiana in her official uniform. Three is Jadiana as that one Joker meme. Four, I tried my hand at realism after years of not doing it. I'm so rusty. Enjoy. Ooh, I like this. I love that there's always like so much personality in Jupiter Planet's like characters and their posing. They have really cute, nice like outfits. I love the giant like flower that she's got going on in her hair, and the expression is fantastic. This really cute outfit in general. I really like it. Looks like it's very like light and flowy with all sorts of like a flower motif going on there. Looks really good. She looks sassy. Yeah. Maximum sass engaged. Hell yeah. On to the next one here. Oh, and then we have the chibi version of her in her like official outfit here, looking like strong and confident, like, I got this. You guys all listen to me. Hell yeah. Looking off into the distance here, all like stately and heroic. Yeah, it's smug. It's like powerful smug, like, everybody listens to me because they get the tip of this otherwise. The tip of the sword is my negotiator. Hell yeah, let me get some water. Sit up here. I've been shrimping because I got looked so hard at everybody's artwork here. Let's go ahead to the next one. I love that it's just the Joker face, like with Jadiana's hair. Like it's it's so funny seeing the Joker with like long, luxurious hair. That's amazing. This is fantastic. Also, this is a great meme. This is so good. I love it. Ooh, and then we have like her realism that she's got going on here. Looks really good to me. I think you did a great job. I love that you still have like, your stylization to it, so it's like more of like a realism here, but it looks really, really good. I love that you gave them like a more realistic like shaped nose. Like that's really cool. I like it. It looks like kind of like one of those like old school like black and white like headshot portraits of like, a really pretty like actress, like a well-known actress. So I think you did an awesome job. Karimi Najid. Ah, okay, okay. So I can definitely see the shape of the nose here, with the way what I'm assuming from the name that they might be a little like either Middle Eastern in descent or you know, probably from like somewhere around there. So I like this type of nose too. Like I think it looks really good on women. I really like women with like interesting noses. I think it makes them like more distinct and more attractive in my opinion. So all right, so that is everything from Jupiter Planet. They are super awesome. I love that you're cranking out like all these little like sketches. I love seeing like sketch work as well. I am super guilty of not doing like sketch work like at all. My brain is just like, you have to turn this into a full-blown piece. And I think it's like I think it's because I never used to finish anything back in the day. So I'm like super obsessed with like finishing like everything. But anyway, Jupiter Printer, like I said, they are now streaming. Make sure you follow them on Twitch so you can check them out. We're gonna give them a lot of love and a lot of support because they are amazing. All right, next up we have Manoris. I'm probably saying your name wrong. It is my duty as a VTuber to say your name wrong. So if you're in the chat and you have a better way for me to pronounce it, or you see the video either on YouTube or Twitch later for the VOD, please let me know. I don't want to keep butchering your name. For those who don't know me, I'm a Spanish digital artist and I mainly do tabletop RPG art and some fan arts. Hell yeah. We got our tabletop RPG like crew like slowly forming here, so maybe we can make a really cool like tabletop game. That'd be super sick. I definitely would be down for that. But I love this. This is like some sort of like zombie, like worm, like dragon thing we got going on here. Looks like it's either like parts of it are disjointed and either or flowing, or it actually like comes up out of like the ground here. I love that like there's just like a little bit of like tendons and sinew that's like barely holding like the legs together. And then like on top of like the scaling you have like pustules or like maybe even like some sort of like crystals or something to show that it's like a very like decaying like type creature here. Or barnacles. Yeah, they could be barnacles. But yeah, excellent work here. I love the drool on the tongue. I love the all the shape language. It looks very like dangerous with all the edges and the sharp parts to it, which is excellent for excellent type shape language for showing that it's a dangerous creature. So really cool. I also love like the texturing on it. I think that's a nice little touch so it doesn't look flat like digital can be if you don't put any texture on it. Ooh, and then we have a fan art here of Gachi Yataka. I always say the name wrong. Gachi Yaka. I don't know. The one where they have like they fight trash beasts and they have their very personal items that they use as their weapons. Very cool anime, very distinct style. Um really, really cool stuff. I really love it. It's really good. I love all the characters too. They all have very like distinct personalities and stuff. But we have Ensign, we have oh my god, it's been a while since I actually watched this first season, so I can't and Rudo is the main character. And I keep forgetting their two names, but they're really cool as well. Like she has a giant pair of scissors, he has an umbrella, he has a stick that is his personal item, and Rudo has the ability of turning any sort of junk into his personal items. So really cool. Yeah, he has the perfect stick. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, really, really solid work here. I love that you have added like multiple characters instead of doing like a single like portrait style. I like how it like kind of like gets cut off here almost like it could possibly be like submersed in water, but I think that's a really cool way of like doing like the transition. Like I remember when I was doing traditional art, like I could never quite figure out how to do like this kind of thing where it just transitioned into like a blank background without it looking like hella janky. So but yeah, awesome, awesome. I really like this. Ooh, this is super cool. It's got like hellaciously like evil magic vibes here. I like that they got like the ram horn going back here. And also, I'm a sucker for any glow. I've said this like 100,000 times. You throw a glow on anything, and I'm like, that's the best thing ever. That's my shit. So that's that good shit. Um, but yeah, I really like it. I like the lighting. I like that it's mostly like the rim lighting, and then the lighting from like the glowy parts looks really, really cool. This kind of reminds me, his tattooing kind of reminds me of the demon hunters from World of Warcraft a little bit here, especially with like the skin coloring. Really, really cool stuff. Longest. Hell yeah, Gurren Lagann, let's go. Ooh, I like this. It's like a little memorial or like a grave site for like fallen like party members here because we got like the giant like uh Mjolnir looking hammer here, and then we got like a mage hat going on, and then we've got like dual axis for maybe like a berserker, so maybe this was like the warrior's weapon, the mage, like the berserker, the kind of rogue character here with the bow and arrow, and then maybe this was like the hero here has come back to commemorate his fallen comrades. So yeah, TM wiped the party. Yeah, this is all one mimic's doing. It was like a mimic with like an elder god in it or something. No, the black cats. Oh, why are they so curious and excited because they had one higher level with them? No. Hell yeah. So that was the last of everything from Manarus here. It yeah, he really did nothing to save them for sure. I think he got locked out of the room though. I don't think he could get in there. Uh but I don't know. Not that I'm like a super like Kirito guy or something. Anyway, Manarus is super talented. I really like your style. I think your stylization is like fantastic. I love your shape language that you use. You also use lighting really well to showcase different moods, and you have really good storytelling as well with your imagery. So awesome work. Hell yeah. Next up, we have Mitsuki. I love Mitsuki's artwork. They just simply wrote, hello. So let's go ahead with the first one here. A really old drawing I made in Ibis Paint. I used to draw using Ibis Paint, but ever since I switched to drawing on my laptop, I've only ever used Ibis Paint to adjust my finished artworks using filters. Most of my OCs tend to have some sort of redesign, but Lorraine was the only one who stayed the same even throughout the years. The only change is her military uniform. Oh yeah, yeah. I remember seeing like the later versions of this. Really, really cool. I love the way Mitsuki stylizes their character. Again, a really good use of like very distinct shape language. And I love like stylized characters too that still have like it's really important to still have like a really solid basis on like anatomy and posing. You have to learn the rules before you can break them. So it looks really, really nice. I love it. And I love like the really heavy like shadowing, really nice like gradients here, nice lighting. Good stuff. I have trouble drawing boots and like feet too, so mine always also have like very distinct shapes to them. Aw, Charlotte de Brilliere. De Brilliere or Barilliere. Tilted Midnight Sun. I saw this code in Pinterest and really liked it, so I tried drawing it on Charlotte, who usually wears black clothes, so putting her in a bright outfit was a nice change. Random lore drop. The gem on her neck is called an Insight Gem, which is an ornament that is given to an 18-year-old as a coming of age gift. It is a tradition in their country, though not everyone can afford an actual gem, so glass gems are common. Charlotte's in particular has a glass gem. Okay, that's cool. That's a nice little like lore weaving into your character design to show like the traditions of like, where the characters come from. Really, really cool, really cute. And I love like the outfits for all the characters are always like mixes of like different stylistic things from like different eras. And it always looks really, really well together. So this is super, super cute. I love like the graphic designs in the background. I think you did an excellent job with that. That's something that I always struggle to do is just to keep the backgrounds like simplistic with like, really solid graphic design elements. And I love the way that the name is vertical like this with like the gradient. I think that looks super, super nice. Yeah, yeah, it looks like older anime art books. You're right. 100%. Ooh, and then we got another one here. We got Emily. I'm just gonna say Fideli. I don't know if we're saying the D in the front there. Tilted Sunset Dawn. After drawing Charlotte, I wanted to design some more clothes. It was the perfect time to finally give Emily a design since previously she hadn't gotten one yet. Also, Emily is the main character in the short story I shared a couple of weeks ago, and as written in the story, she is a rich girl, so her inside gem is an actual gem. Ah, so it's down here on the belt. Yeah, I need to get better at like drawing like clothes and coming up with like different styles of like fashion to put like my characters in. I always have like trouble with that, but again, this is just like super excellent like graphic design here in the background. It looks really, really nice. I could definitely see these as like prints or posters easily, or like Havoc said, if you were to make an art book, like these would be absolutely like fantastic in an art book for sure. I would buy an art book from Mitsuki. So just saying, if just throwing it out there, if you want to make an art book. Ooh, and we got another one. Tilted Morning Star. Since Charlotte and Emily worked under Chloe, it doesn't feel right to not include Chloe. I never I never really title my works, but I decided to try to use it for these three. I really like the irony, so I titled them as such. Morning Star does not necessarily refer to the fallen angel, though. I only titled it as such because. Oh, wait, these are titled Morning Star. I've been saying tilted. Whoops. My dyslexic side kicked in there. I only titled as such because it was nighttime in the piece, although technically it does kind of make sense considering Chloe was once a popular model that fell from grace and started a fashion shop. Extremely oversimplified backstory, by the way. I really like this though. It's really cool, especially with like, the lighting, the moonlight coming in from this way. You have the nice like big shadow work going that way. I love like the draped like cape with the high-waisted skirt. Looks really, really nice. I think I like this character the most out of the three as far as like design goes. Oh yeah, so this is Chloe Fideli. Oh yeah. Awesome, awesome work. All these are absolutely excellent, Mitsuki. Thank you so much for posting again. I cannot wait to see more of your artwork next week. But yeah, consider throwing together like an art book. I think that would be really cool. All right, next up we have Aaron Boy Verhel. Verhel wrote, "I'm back here again. Here are my entries for the week. God, I can't read today. I got a bunch of new characters as well as new monsters drawn. As per usual, names and description are in the alts." Hell yeah. We got Timothy Gazarak. Timothy Tim Gazarak's character sheet. Too long, didn't read on his story. Is the older brother of Dan Grazak, the hero of Maydol. He is the dedicated mage in the party, combining his degree in computer programming with the world's magic system, become a skilled spellcaster. He likes Sasha. Ooh, that's a good like idea. Like having like the magic system also be similar to like coding. Hell yeah. So he's a mage. He's human. His background is he is a prodigy. He has 8 strength, which is pretty high for a mage. Dexterity 4, fortitude 8, so he's got a lot of health too. High intelligence, of course, high willpower. He's got that Riz here, and he's got a pretty high RPG level here, so that's pretty cool. The older brother to Dan Grazak, Timothy Grazak, works multiple jobs at the same time just to make ends meet. Oh, I feel that. While their parents is still abroad, when he wound up in the magical world of Maydol in a separate area as his brother, he learns to become a mage under the tutelage of one Arca Mundo, Archmage of Space and time, intertwining his innate knowledge of software engineering with the laws of spellcraft. In this new world, Tim made himself into a prominent spellcaster. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yep. Sigils and runes and vibrational frequencies, along with like, because coding is just like instructions. So, if you're building the instructions for like a spell, it would translate as well. That's really cool. He has an oak staff. He has a tome of elements, so he's like an elemental mage. He's got a blue robe and a blue wizard hat. And we got. I like this expression. This is the best expression at all. It's so good. Hey, what's up, Annie? Oh, good job. Let me stretch. Oh, oh, ah. Hell yeah. Let me get some water as well. And then we got him like blowing kisses to like the little like rogue character here. And then he's like manipulating things here. Oh, he's doing like a sheep. He's casting sheep onto like an occultist or something here, or like a occult NPC or monster class here. I like it. Next up, we have Regalia Ro Roho Rohan Rada, the red-haired merchant, resident merchant and jeweler of the Cobaltshire village, once pursued the title of Dragoon and be the chosen hero of Maydol, but gave up on the dream to become a jeweler, close ally to Dan and his party. That's a quite a big career shift there. Like, you know what? Fuck Destiny. I'm gonna make jewels and get rich. So, I am not maidenless because I got all the wealth. Like, but at least she supports like the actual like, the MC and like their party. I imagine the jewels probably are like accessories that maybe increase like strength or magic or things that would just be useful for like the party in general. Yeah, I like it. Like that, she's showing off like that she does have a gem on here. She's got her outfit is styled like she's a merchant as well. So good stuff. Hell yeah. An orc skirmisher, the quintessential ranged trooper of the orc army, paired well with axe wielding orc grunts. Oh yeah, so they're probably like, in the back line, just like throwing spears like a madman. Like, they have one job and they do it well. Or maybe they don't. Who knows? It'd be funny if they had like pretty much like zero aim, but they're just like their spear throwing is so chaotic that it like makes it even more difficult to dodge. I love it. I love his like skull like face paint he's got going on here. He's got his little pose. He's ready to shift his weight and turn his hips and rotate his shoulder over here so he can throw it. Oh yeah. Then we have a common blaze maw, A fire-breathing dragon common in feudal realms. Nuisances that are common as wolves. They often raise farmlands and steal their livestock. Contact the local knights or adventurers guild if you need to get rid of them. Wow, that's pretty rough if you live in an area where like fire-breathing dragons are incredibly common and will often raid your farms. So, man, that's a pain in the ass. I mean, I'm assuming that they're not like crazy hard to kill if they're just like, yeah, just get the Adventurers Guild to take them out. So, yeah, that would be really cute as like a little like plushie. Like especially if it was like really long, like it was a decent sized plushie, you could definitely like hug it. So, yeah, all the scarecrows are knights of pots and pans. Hell yeah. I like it. All right, so that is everything from Aaron Boy Verhel. I love seeing the citizens of your world and the creatures of your world, and we get a little, just a little taste of like things from all of your different stories every single week. So I can't wait to see more next week. Thank you so much. Yeah, they just sigh. They're like, ugh, dragons again. All right, next up we have Scarewolf. Scarewolf wrote Hanako's Sexy Pose, Absolute Sun Knight, Voltage from the Unmasked, Mistress Kong. Info is in the alts. So we have Hanako here. This on Rio gets a lot more likes than any of my OCs on social media. Just imagine putting her in my series comics. I would be very popular on the internet, and she would be the reason why I win so many awards. Yeah, yeah. I can definitely see why. I really like her outfit. She's got enormous personality, and she is dumpy thick. Pensy is on top of it. I do like this character a lot. I kind of feel like if you made this character your MC, or at least the secondary MC of your series, you would have a lot of success, like you said here. So, uh, you know, something to consider. And then for the Absolute Sun Knight, I tried looking up on the internet for mummy designs, but there was none that I liked. So I went to go watch Lee Cronin's The Mummy recently, and it gave me an idea. Instead of being covered in bandages, she is covered in human skin to look modified. Oh, yeah, that's a lot more like creepy for sure. Yeah, definitely. Can't believe they did. That's so gross. I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, apparently rich people being cannibals is more common than we thought. So, Jesus Christ. I mean, I hope when I get rich, I'm not like, I think I have a craving for flesh. Human flesh. Haha. Normal food is boring. As I sit on my pile of money and like kick my little feet because now like my legs are short and stubby because I'm rich. They had the flesh hungers from being cursed. Yeah. This is cool. It looks like the bandages maybe wrap in a slightly different way than they did before. And then you can see more of like the shape of like her nose like through like the skin and everything. And then she has like some different colored eyes here. So I think that's a cool idea. Like especially if you like maybe added like a texturing layer a little bit, like maybe just like some noise, like a noise layer on the, I think it would sell it just a little bit more as flesh, but I totally see what you're going for there. Yeah, the Mummy with Brendan Fraser, still the peak of like the Mummy. It's okay, Aniki, just don't eat us, just eat the AI art people. Yeah, I mean, you know, they would probably taste like foolishness, which is probably the most delicious flavor. So, you know, I'm just saying. Oh my god, Evie is still hot. She looks exactly the same from the 90s, which is absolutely crazy. She is so hot. And then we have, I can't remember if I posted Voltage on here before, But yeah, he is based on Iron Man, Ultron, Red Tornado, Ultimate Echo, Echo, and Springtrap. You will see you later on in the story on why I put Springtrap. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. So if he's like kind of like almost like an Iron Man type, like he's crafting like armor, of course, that is good for like technological stuff like beams and energy, and maybe he also like has like technological traps that he creates as well to ward off like enemies or somebody coming for, like, I'm assuming he's wealthy if he is able to create like these technologically advanced suits as well. uh I like the mask though. The mask is really cool. These look like that they would like glow. So, like I said, I'm a sucker for glow. So then we have Mistress Kong has an obsession of abducting, kidnapping women around universes and then making them fight in her sick, twisted wrestling amusement. In this story, she kidnapped Hanako and Jill, the Arctic Fox. I almost never went with the whole inspired by Sound of Freedom, but with female pro wrestling thing for the storyline because I wasn't sure on how the audience would react to it, but a friend convinced me that people would love what I made and gave me a reason why they would love that idea. So I took his word and I went with it for the idea. Hey, I think it's a great idea. I mean, hell yeah. I mean, you're like professional wrestling is still like really a thing and really popular. So absolutely capitalize on it. Also, professional wrestling is really fun. Like Japanese wrestlers are even more like hilarious and ridiculous than American wrestlers, which is insane already. But yeah, I like this. This is really cool. I like her outfit that she's going on here. Yeah, it looks awesome. All right, so that is everything from Scarewolf. Like I said, they are trying to make their own little Dark Hero universe, The Unmasked. We are going to continue to support them and try to make that a reality for them. I don't have like I don't have like regular TV anymore. I don't know if there's like maybe like a YouTube or somewhere you can watch it online for free, but I might consider watching it then. Ooh, we got a brand new person here. We have Kendall the Dragon. They have a webtoon, so this is going to be from their webtoon here. Happy Portfolio Day. This is my alt account for my comic series, Kendall the Dragon. It's about a little medieval dragon in a coming of age story as he encounters many different creatures from Japanese folklore. Read it here. Hell yeah, I'm gonna have to subscribe to your webtoon. You watch it on AWE on Max. Gotcha, gotcha. All right, we got our cover image here looking super adorable. We have Kendall the Dragon, A Claw Reached Out, story and art by Kenneth Damon. Oh yeah, so we got some other dragons going on here. We got this like really interesting oh, this must be like a yokai here. And then this one looks like it might be like a Tengu. Oh, maybe this is like a Kirin type dragon over here. Really cute. I really like it. That's a cool idea of like blending like the European medieval like mythology with the Japanese folklore. So ads, Dale. No ads. Boo, boo hiss. I'm gonna stretch and take some water in the meantime. Oi. Feels good. They took my wife. No. Oh, ADD jail. They're stuck in here with me. Yeah. She's gonna take him out. I'm gonna give that ad a few more seconds before we move on here, just so you guys can witness this in real time, be able to see the wonderful artwork. I should keep going? Still got like 2 minutes. Okay. All right. Next up here, we have do the Hulk Hogan move. We've got this like really cool like spider looking like yokai here. I forget what this instrument is called, but it's really cool. I really like it. We're sorry, your brother. Brother. I love all like the webbing they have going on here. They actually look very friendly for a spider-like creature, even though I am not personally a fan of spiders whatsoever. This one looks like it's a little more approachable. So, ooh, oof, that is true. I didn't think about that at all. Yeah. I like to think of the Hulk Hogan who is the character and not the person. I'm sure there's a lot of like wrestlers that are probably like horrible assholes in like reality. I always think of them as their character or their persona. But at least John Cena seems to be like a genuinely cool person, so wait, Hulk Hogan just died? Oh. I mean I guess he was getting up there, so I don't know. Yeah, I like John Cena a lot. He's great. He's such a cool dude. He died last month. Oh damn. Okay. Well, rip to the character Hulkamania. Yeah, the jail has been cleaned out now. Yep, it's completely empty there, except for like the carnage. So there's just a bunch of like smoking, like tealish green burnt marks. Ooh, and then we have some panels here. Yeah, present day, we have like the murmur of like a bustling city going on. This is Suki City, home of the Kitsune Foxes. So they're all Kitsunes. That's really cute. Oh, that's adorable. I like it. I like all the colors and everything. Last July. Dang. I feel like I saw that and I just did not like log it in my memory because it just wasn't like I don't know, important, I guess. I don't know. This is great. I love this little scene. It's all nice and warm. Like if you put like a layer over top of this that was either like a color dodge with like a really big like soft brush, you could even have more of like this kind of like warm like glow effect and I think it would look really nice. But it still looks amazing. Ooh, this is a cool dragon. I wonder if this is like, the dragon when it's like either like grown up or it's like someone actually like pissed it off and like it evolves into like it's an adult state when it's like angry. So yeah, same Alex for sure. Like 100%. This is a really cool panel. I really like this. I love that it looks like it's going into almost like in a berserk mode or maybe it's reached like a magical like overload or something, since dragons are like magical creatures. So really cool. I'm definitely gonna have to go on Webtoon here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it on my phone right now because I will forget if I don't. I just reread all of Nympha's chapters. Shout out plug to Nympha there. Go read God King Zaibatsu on Line Webtoon. It's good stuff, guys. I promise. Let's see. Canvas search. This is Kendall the Dragon. There it is. Also, Kachos as well. And that one is, I think it's called Magical Girls and a Dude. So gotta give shout outs to all the webtoon creators we have on here. I really need to start working on mine again. I have been falling behind. Maybe I should shift back to that. In between doing the OC art raffle, we'll do like one OC art raffle day and maybe like a webtoon day or something like that. That way I can make some progress. But anyway, like I said, that is everything from Kendall the Dragon here. Thank you so much for joining our art share. Uh, I am super excited to read your story. I will definitely give it a read. I have subscribed to you on Webtoon. So make sure everybody does the same. And you are now going to be part of our art share tag list. So let's go. Hell yeah, we got another brand new person here. We have Fabrosor, Celia. Nice. Hell yeah. So let's go ahead and open this. Ooh, we have like this, like, is this a giraffe person? Yep. Anthropomorphic giraffe character writing in a notebook. This piece is set in a train. You can see the reflection of the giraffe in the window. The illustration has brown, purple, and green hues. Ooh, I like this. This is really cool. It's got like a really nice like mood to it that, it's a nice like rainy train ride. Yeah, they really do have like very majestic hair here. This looks like it could easily be like a Beastars character like in the universe here. And of course, I really like they have this like kind of like teal glow coming from the eyeball here, and then we have the overhead lighting from the cab inside the train. I really like that there's a lot of energy and texture in the thing. They're left-handed. Ew. I can't imagine being like left-handed at all. Like it's insane. Especially like the way they have to like hold, you know, like their pens and pencils is always very interesting. And it looks like there, of course, are other anthropomorphic creatures also on the train in the background here, but they did a real good job of separating the background and the foreground values with the darker values forward and the lighter values in the back, and then of course the bloom lighting here as well. Like a Blue Jay guy, like from like regular show. Yeah. Fucking oh my god, what are the characters' name from regular show? Jesus Christ. Yeah, Mordecai and Rigby. There we go. It would be funny if they're in a world of normal people. It would be very fun to find the main character. Yeah, they're kind of like a like spot the stand user. Awesome. I like it. Oh, this is so cute. A painting of a panda bear resting in a tree. This panda is 100% gonna fall out of this tree. Because they are, even though they're absolutely adorable, they're some of the dumbest animals on the planet. Like, there's not a thought in this panda's brain right now. But this is super adorable. I think you did a really good job of capturing the adorableness of it. It's definitely gonna like the next frame is it like slipping off of this and being surprised that it like did not support itself correctly. And then it's just gonna like roll away, like do little somersaults. But yeah, really, really cute. Yeah, just tumbles down in slow motion. Adorable stuff. I love it. Let's go to the next one here. Well, apparently, like they can be like they can be pretty violent. Like you know, apparently there's more like panda attacks than you would like to think. So, portrait of the character Viper from LADS. I'm not really sure what that is. Looking over the shoulder with a snake drape across the shoulders. The human looking character has orange eyes and a tongue akin to a snake. Oh, train it to be just like my puppies. I mean, it probably would just act like your puppies. Like, I grew up with just puppies, then yeah. It's very, very simple mind will be like, I puppy now. I will bark with puppies. I will lick faces. According to a novel I read, a panda can rip off a man's genitals with one swipe. Yeah. That'd be even worse if that's like the main thing they targeted was like, you got a dick? Well, guess what? That's what's happening. No more. Swipe. Splat on the floor. Horrible Wilhelm scream. Yeah, having your dick out near a panda would be a questionable approach. Side eyes for you know, it's okay. Yeah, don't jork it near pandas. Do not jork your peen or expose your peen near pandas, because pandas will pugilistically pummel your peen. Let's go with some alliteration. They just go, oh no, 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 on your peen. That's the rage spell for pandas, is seeing a peen. So anyway, back to the artwork here. I really like this. I love that it's like they're out in the rain. You can see like the little bit of spray from where like the light is hitting on top. So it's got excellent mood lighting. Um, they are of course very snack-like themselves. You can see they have a lot of like either mouth stitching or mouth piercings here. And then of course they have like a glow from their eyes as well. So very moody. I love it. Fantastic. I love this. Here we go. Here's Mordecai. An illustration of an anthropomorphic bluebird stuck in a washing machine. Well, at least he's not stuck the other way, so we can't be like, what are you doing, step bird? Like, but this is adorable. I absolutely love this. Uh, I like that there's like a distinct difference. Uh, yeah, there's a distinct difference in the style of the Bluebird versus the background, which really makes it like highlighted. Like this is more of almost like a cell shaded, and then the background is more of like a painterly style here. So I think this works really, really well. I think the lighting looks very, very nice. You know, you have the overexposed like neon lighting up here. Yeah, Margaret rolled up. Margaret, this isn't what you think. And she's like, uh-huh. He needs to just stay with his cloud girlfriend. Cloud girlfriend were the best ones, so no thoughts, empty head, bird baby. Yep, 100%. Blue jays are like also like really, really pretty birds. I like that he has like little goggles, I guess, for flight. Maybe like he has feathers that like can pop out from like his arms here so they can actually fly. So yeah, the cloud was super cute. All right, so that is everything from Fabusaur, Cilia here. They are super talented. I really, really like your work. Excellent lighting, excellent storytelling, adorable depictions of the panda. I really like it. I cannot wait to see more of your work next week as well. I have one that lives right outside my house, so I see it every day. Hell yeah. I haven't seen an actual blue jay in forever. I used to see them all the time. Up north where I'm from, like there's a lot of blue jays. They were like really common up there. But I haven't seen one here in a while. Ooh, we have another brand new person here. We have Igor or Igor. I'm going to say your name wrong, so please let me know how to say it correctly. Hi, Aniki. Thanks for hosting. Hey, you are super welcome. They wrote, Hi, Portfolio Day. I'm Igor, and I like to draw characters with a hint of mythology slash folklore in them. I'm open for commissions, contract, full-time work. Hell yeah. And then we got all their links like right here. Ooh, wow. This is really nice. Damn, that's super clean. Look at that. Really, really nice like rendering. They have really nice like I love this like really like textured like fog thing you got going on here. It kind of goes from like painting almost into like Sumi like down here as you get into like the fog area. Very, very good like atmospheric perspective with like the bamboo or the reeds or whatever here in the background. And I love that he's got like a little like toothpick here. So he's like a little delinquent ass like frog yokai. And he's got uh oh, it looks like it's like weaved together with like reeds as well. Seems like a Chad. I mean it's all about the attitude, you know? He's got like the very confident posture here. He looks like he also might be like a total wise ass, like a confident delinquent, and he's got really cool tattoos on him, so pretty cool. I like it. The green things are covering his eyes though. Well, his eyes are up here. I'm not frog. Do frogs have something like right here? I don't know. This thing is cool. I like that he's got like little things like sticking out of his head, almost like they're piercings here. On the stream. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I can fix that. There we go. I'm so sorry. I never thought about that those would like cover things up. There we go. My bad, guys. I'll start turning those off on like the art share streams. That way none of it gets covered. I don't know why I never thought of that. I'm so sorry. But yeah, the eyes are really good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, it's a good idea for me to not have those up there anyway. I don't know if anybody even really pays attention to them anyway, so maybe I can put them like off to the side over by chat or something. Like move it around. All right, let's continue on here. Ooh, this is a really nice black and white piece here. I love the different like texturing of like the different brushes. Like, this looks like it's like a heavy ink like marker here, almost like mimicking like a Sharpie. Ooh, the eyeballs like going around like the neck. There's so much to look at here. So much detail. I love like the hatching as well. The hatching is really, really nice. Yeah, like the pentagram plugs here, and you got the piercing through there as well. Damn, this is super cool. All this work is like really, really clean and really, really nice. Like this is crazy like ink work. Like it looks so, so clean and so good. Definitely like pro level stuff here. Very nice like folds as well. You can tell all the gravity. Then you got like some masks going on here. Like there's a little creature also peeking out. And also down here as well, there's like another one. So maybe they're controlling like or puppeting these two guys with the hand sign here. Yeah, this is crazy. It's so good. Ooh, look at this one at this harpy. Hell yeah. Harpy having a little snack here. This is either like honey or some like cheese bread. And I love like the little dashes of like the gray like feathering into the hair. That's a really, really nice touch. Yeah, pigeon harpy. But look at like the texturing and stuff. Like whatever brushes they use for the texturing is like excellent. And then fantastic like perspective on the brickwork here. It's really, really nice. Like super, super like this is definitely like pro work. This is fantastic stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the bricks, they've got like it's got like the kind of like the fisheye like curvature like perspective, like all going out. Perspective is something that I really, really need to work on. And there's a lot of fundamentals that I need to work on personally. Like I'm really like I'd say my strengths are like into like my rendering and stuff like that. But really if I were to work on my fundamentals then I could probably really hit like the pro level there. But man, yeah, this is like pro level work. This is fantastic. Ooh, look at this one. This one's really cool too. I love like the shrunken head, like yokai head on the end of it here. With the hair like braided through the sword, and then it's got like this like cool like mage-like hat. And again, I really like dig like the white hair like streaks through like the dark. Really, really neat. Really cool posing, really like a lot of like dynamic like energy to it. Really nice flow. All the texturing and lighting is fantastic. Man, these are all so good. Like nothing but praise. Holy shit. Wow. Yeah, we got a Igor here is like a super pro here. So welcome to our art share. I definitely 100% yeah, Igor here. Igor Doodles. Hold on. Maybe I can just to make it easier. I got you. I got you, Alex. There you go. Hell yeah. I am super impressed. Igor making me look like a chump here. But not really. No, he's just in a different point in his art journeys. He's obviously studied a ton of fundamentals, a ton of composition. You know, just in the top tier of like having really, really solid, skills. Like not slacking in any area that I can see whatsoever. So fantastic. I cannot wait to see your work next week. Like this is so good. Like I love all of these. These will all be fantastic. I hope you have an art book. I really do hope you have an art book. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna see. You don't have one listed on here. You should add an art book to these to your tags here. 100%. Ooh, look at this. I might know this guy. He might be in chat right now. Hell yeah, you guys are welcome. Hey, I'm always gonna like shout out somebody that's got like insane talent like that. All right, so Alex wrote, "Hey Artie, been a while. I know I missed you, man. Been busy lately with my own projects. Hey, nothing wrong with that. You've been killing it lately. You've been absolutely cranking stuff out. Happy to be back in your art share stream artist spotlight thingy. So we're going to post as a family again in the thread. Post 1 is the intro, post 2 is Sanda's work, post 3 is Dragona's, and post 4 is my art dad. Yeah, let's go. Hell yeah. So first here we have Sanda's work. Some random work from Sanda. I got these from Instagram. The third one is Chibi Olivia Newton-John from her physical music video. That's amazing. I don't think she shared these. I don't think. Oh man. Your whole family is just so talented. I absolutely love these. Fantastic work. Just really, really solid, like traditional art. She definitely still has that like really fun era of like kind of like a almost like the 90s early 2000s like anime vibes going on here. Really nice like transitions from like the shadows to the lighting with like the Terminator and everything. Super solid. Like, ooh, they went to a classical music concert. That sounds like a lot of fun. I hope they have a great time and definitely tell them that I said hello and that I love their artwork, that they're awesome, awesome, awesome. Aw, this is so cute. I like this. This is adorable. I like the hatching that she's got going on in here. And yeah, side profiles are always something that I struggle with. So I'm always like impressed when like people can do them like really, really well. This looks great. I love this. So adorable. Oh no. Well, I mean, you gotta take Dragona. I mean, like, she's the obvious choice there. I'm sorry, I love you, man, but she's too adorable not to like, take to experience something like super cool like that. So maybe you can go to the next one. Maybe you'll win 2 tickets and then you can take her to something super fun and cool. 100%. Yeah, classical music, especially live, is like really, really like it hits like super like emotionally. So, ooh, anime cons are fun. Just don't get sick. Don't get the con flu. So, this is amazing. I know 100% what this music video is here. This is so cute. It's so funny. Yep, this is definitely things people used to wear in the 80s and 90s to work out. They had their whole little like highly brightly colored get-ups. I love her chibi style. It's super cute. I love the way the mouth looks and everything. It's so good. Really nice like gradient, really nice like highlighting, really solid like shape language and outline. And of course, the handwriting is like infinitely better than mine. So yeah, yeah, like the Electric Callboy video where they're the Pump It video. Yep. All right, so that was everything from Sonda. Let's go ahead and let's move on to Dragona here. Alex, Dragona's new OC Grabber. Dragona, she's a friendly monster girl who eats money and gold and is scared of grapes. Why grapes? Childhood trauma and gold is tasty for her. Oh, is this a little bit of is she projecting a little bit here? Alex, oh, okay. Dragona, P.S. She can eat bones and metal too. Wow, okay, nice. That's so cute. Oh, I love it. I love that the eyes go 2 different directions. That's amazing. It's got a really like nice like starry like sky background here. Looks like that this character is maybe exists on a distant planet here where it has a really cool moon or a planet nearby that has some really nice rings. This is her first full-on digital art. Jesus Christ, she's so talented. That's crazy. That is so good for like a first digital art here. Like she really went wild with it. That's great. Like she's even got like texturing in different spots. She's got like, bladed grass. Did a really good job of keeping everything in the lines here. She's even like there's like a lotus on top of the head, which is not easy to draw. Damn. Yeah, you must be a super proud art dad, Alex. Like I really hope you are, because your whole family is like so talented. I love seeing you guys' artwork. Like it's so good. It's so wholesome. Man, just from watching you, that's nuts. Man, I don't know. Kids these days, like, especially with having a like a father and a mother like you are going to absolutely like accelerate through the stratosphere at like light speed to being like amazing artists. So that's so cool. It's so creative too. And I love her little backstories. Here's the traditional version of it here. The grabber, grabs the things to shove in their mouth to process there. So, makes sense. I like that. Eating all the various things. So they're eating like the money, and it looks like this one might be like candy. Oh no, no, it's like a folded piece of paper. Oh, like it's actually like fluttering in. Damn, got the advanced techniques there. This one's thinking about a stick. Oh, they have like a stick. They're trying to give it the stick to eat. Nice. I like it. Hell yeah, that's so cute. I love this. I would also like a plushie of her characters as well. It says she doesn't know written English very well yet. Oh, my money. Okay, I got you. No, English is a very difficult language to learn. You know what I mean? Like when when I was actually studying Japanese, like it actually made like way more sense than English because like English has all these like ridiculous rules and like if and then situations and you know adding like I don't know. It's just a mess. It's several languages in a trench coat and they shook it up, so not good at it. Ah! I love it. Oh, this one's good too. Is eat me on it. It's like it's just this like really silly little thing. It's ready to be eaten as well. Oh, it's like upset that there's grapes here, so it's like reacting to the trauma of grapes. You prefer English to Portuguese though. Well, Portuguese also looks like it's a very like for me, it looks like it would be complicated because Portuguese, if I remember right, is a mix of Spain, Spanish, and like French. So, it's a very interesting language, that's for sure. The Eat Me is a character from another artist, a guy named Jim. Awesome. I love it. I definitely want to learn more languages. Like I have like really, really basic Spanish, like it's super like novice like Spain Spanish. So I can recognize like words, I can put together a couple like phrases and sentences, that kind of thing, but I wouldn't say that I could speak it like fluently, but definitely something I want to achieve, especially as I get older in life, is to work more on learning languages. Because languages, when you learn them, it actually rewires your brain to kind of think in like different perspectives and that kind of thing. So, oh yeah, I love this song too. I love this band. It is Architects from the album For Those That Wish to Exist, and the title is Animals. Ah, that makes sense. We have a bunch of things that we said are kind of just wrong. We shorten words and stuff. Oh, I mean, it's like a dialect and slang. Like if you were to learn like all the English slang as well and all the different dialects, like so, for example, like someone like me who's from the North in America speaks very, very differently from someone from like Louisiana, which is in the like the deep, deep South, like bottommost South. They have a very, very uh difficult accent to discern. All right, so that was everything from Dragona. Absolutely adorable work. Texans are hard to understand. I don't know. I mean, I everybody that I've met from Texas doesn't really have an accent. Um, I think people with like heavy accents from those areas are more like probably work on like, ranches or farms or just like like so a lot of people in America, their accents get heavier as you get into the more rural or remote parts. So basically, like when the farther you get away from a city, the heavier the accent is going to be in a state. So, oh, okay, you lived in Texas for a while. Yeah, yeah. The more country somebody is, like in the state that I live in, like you get farther out into the rural areas and it's like what is pronunciation? How do you complete an actual word? Because they just don't. It's like you get the first maybe two or three letters of a word and then after that it just trails off. And it's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? I have no idea. Do you have marbles in your mouth? Do you gargle while you speak? Like, I don't know. I actually think like I like to do like southern accents like when I do like voice acting. I think it's like really fun, or when I do like comedic things, because it's really fun to really like lay into it and really mix up your words. But apparently the Southern American accent is actually devolved from the British accent getting like lazier. Um from like when we were like when Britain was like colonizing, the Southern accent is really just like a super uh lazier, more droll laden British accent. So pretty cool. They used to sound like that. British accents apparently used to sound like Southern Americans. So. All right, and then we have the art dad himself up next. Uh my recent artworks from the 23rd Art Challenge. Damn, 23rd. You're going wild here, man. One is the intro image. I finally took the clown nose off. Had it on so long, my nose is still red. Aw, I like your clown nose though. Second is first place, which is SMK's challenge. Nice. Second place is Julie Katsuli's challenge. Okay, so they're still hanging out in your art chairs. Looks like you've got your regulars as well. Third place is Jim's challenge. You don't have to read the challenges. Okay. I really like this image. I think this is awesome here. I like your 5 o'clock shadow that you got going on here, your scruff. I like that you're like mimicking like the Uncle Sam kind of like American propaganda with like your little outfit and how you're pointing like I need you to submit artwork to this art challenge. He keeps sleeping through his streams. Aw. Yeah, Uncle Sam needs you. Uncle Alex needs you. But fantastic stuff. I really like this. It's like really good. Of course, your graphic design is always on point. Composition is fantastic. I love like the style of your rendering. Um, I used to do this too, where I would do like the really like red nose thing. But yours has like an actual purpose that you had worn like a clown nose for so long that it was like so red. So a little lore there. All right, we got SMJ's challenge here. Ooh, this is really cool. I love this. Yeah, I feel like I'd be a terrible overnight security guard because I'd probably have like a tablet or a sketchbook and I'd probably be just like drawing like the whole time, and then like the place is just getting absolutely like robbed blind. But you did like a super good job of like translating all of the reference images together into like a single piece. You got your storytelling. I really like the lighting, how it's mostly like monochromatic. Really cool. I really like it. And then like the monitors themselves are like super black and white. I love this guy here. And this guy's even poking the camera like, are you really even watching? My daughter asked me the other day why I was a clown. I looked at her and was stumped. I actually don't remember. I was gonna ask that too. That was actually gonna be my next question, like why the clown? But I kind of like it. Like I don't know, it's like very distinct for you. It's like your iconic thing is that you have like a little clown character. I don't think you're a clown as a person. I think you're amazing. So, maybe like clowning like personality with your jokes, but not clowning as like an insult. You know what I mean? Like I would never call you a clown, so I wouldn't be like Alex's fucking clown shoes. You're just like my super amazing art dad, so. Ooh, I like that. We got a sloth smoking a cigar as they get carried. Like, is the sloth the only one that showed up for their birthday? Oh, and they got like karaoke over there. They got some tea. How about my Otsi Julie Kutsuli trying to do her live streams and a procrastination demon distracting her with the birthday cake and celebrations. Oh, okay, I gotcha, I gotcha. Procrastination demon. That's amazing. That's perfect. No, my shoes are the clown shoes. This would be really funny if it had like either like red glowy demonic eyes or it had like the like upside down like pentacles like in the eyes or something. But that's an excellent like idea for like a procrastination demon. Definitely a sloth. Like, I'll just do it tomorrow. Jesus, Pensy. Yeah, you're champion size. That's why you have the feats. I wear a size 13, so you wear 3 sizes larger than my shoes. I always say that I wear clown shoes because I'm only 5'10", so I love sloths. Sloths are so cool. But they also can be dangerous because like these claws are incredibly sharp as well. I don't know. Always got to remember that wild animals are not always something you should pick up or approach unless you absolutely, you have to. Like this little guy, like in the street, about to get run over, definitely help him along his way, but be very careful while doing so. Maybe use several blankets or towels or like a hoodie or a jacket in between so you don't get slashed. I'm sure like sloth hugs are probably like the best hugs ever. But getting them to stop hugging, I think, would be an issue. So you have a 3 foot tall plushie one. Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds very huggable. I like this. Choose your fighter. Hell yeah, and you like included like all of them together. I like this that they're all combating each other. This one's trying to eat from the bottom here. And this one's trying to eat that one. And then this one's like pulling on that one. There's so much going on here. This is definitely a scuffle. I like it. This is the Eat Me character. Ah, nice, nice. Oh yeah, it's this guy right here, right? Hell yeah. That's amazing. I love these. Oh yeah, I love this song. Your money's on Purple. Yeah, I mean Purple does have all the abs. He's pretty beefy. He's got a lot of eyes here. But I don't know. I don't think you should underestimate the wiggly arms here. The Go-Go Gadget arms might have an advantage. Oh yeah, let me get some water and sit up. The people. I just like this song because it's constantly like the metal, the typical metal guy voice, like the Dio voice. Anyway, that is everything from my art dad here, Alex. He's the best art dad. He is better than your art dad. He's more handsome. He is stronger than your art dad, and he will also beat up your art dad. So don't even try. It's not even a contest. You can still be proud of your art dad, but just know that they're not as good as my art dad, and they never will be. So make sure you guys check out Alex and his very talented family here. Alex is also streaming and has a YouTube. Make sure that you follow him on Twitch so you guys can also check out. Um, yeah, you're the dad of everybody else's dad in the tier list of dads. You're in the like S plus affinity tier for art dads. So anyway, make sure you guys subscribe to his YouTube, check out the DeviantArt as well. Alex also has a Discord, and Alex streams as well. So do your best to show up. I have only popped in on a few, and I feel really bad that I haven't been able to catch your streams. Speaking of someone who also streams, we have Nympha up here next. Nympha is also a fellow VTuber, and of course, I plugged their webtoon earlier. So Nympha wrote, Happy Art Share Day. I've drawn Sonic the Hedgehog today, and not in a cursed way for once. He's still a little janky, but I love him, and I did the current funny trend with my favorite boys. My drawing is still a little off with the meds, but I think I've managed. I love this. This would be like Sonic's like ultimate weakness here would be like the banana peel. Going way too fast and just absolutely like having like the momentum like shit house him into another dimension. It's so cute. And then we have a really cool version of him like powering up here. He's about to like go into like his spin mode or burst off into like a blast of speed. Hey, what's up, Stone House? Stone New House. There we go. I am a VTuber, so it is my duty to say your name absolutely wrong on stream, so don't feel bad about that. Imagine that in a Sonic game. Yeah, that would be crazy. Like, especially like a 2D Sonic game, because that would like really suck, especially if it like wasn't like super like noticeable on the screen, like it blended into like the background or something. Oh man. No, it's okay. I'm gonna call you Stone if that's okay. Can I shorten it to Stone? That might make it a little easier for me. Trust me, people will say my name wrong all the time. They're like they call me like Art Anakai. So it's Art Aniki, kind of like like a Japanese delinquent. Like I'm your Aniki. Like I'm your cool uncle or your cool like brother when it comes to art. At least I like to think I am. Anyway, back to Nympha's amazing artwork here. I love how you do like you represent like energy and stuff. You do really cool like textured brushwork, and it's always really cool when, especially like in their webtoon and God's King Zaibatsu, whenever they do like a named attack, it has like a really cool like graffiti like stamp that goes over everything. So it's really really awesome. And of course, we got the glow here, so it's already a 10 out of 10. I love glow on everything. I do love Sonic. I haven't played Sonic in a long time. I haven't actually played any 3D Sonic game ever. I've only played the last Sonic game I played, I think, was Sonic 3 and then Sonic Spinball, I think were my last Sonic games that I ever played here. So yeah, going SSJ God here. They should take the Supersonic and give him like the blue form or whatever. That'd be awesome. So he has like the God key. And then we have the three pennant comic here, pointing off at somebody, looking out like serious like the other guy is, and then they both go into like their super serious like mode here with like their hellacious armor. I actually haven't seen this meme, so I am so bad when it comes to like art trends and things like that. Uh I guess I don't spend enough time on like say like Blue Sky or things like that. I probably should spend at least a little bit more time. That'd probably do me some good. So, oh boy, there kind of already is. Yeah, I mean, I know there's like the Supersonic, but I haven't like I said I haven't played the game since it's like 2D era. And I know there's a lot of like fan comics and stuff. So speaking of things that are from like OG stuff, this band here, the Proto Men, all of their songs are a rock opera about Mega Man, but if it was set in like World War I. So super cool. But yeah, I love this like I haven't seen this meme, so I don't actually know what this meme is about here, but I do really, really like it. I love seeing your characters like interact and whatnot. This guy's they've got like very cool like I love their like armor. Looks very much like Ronin Warrior samurai troopers. And then Raisu over here looking more like a Tekken Man blade kind of thing over here. So that's pretty awesome. And then on top of that, you have the speed paint here. Seeing how you do your awesome process here. I'm glad that you're still I love that you included the sketches. Oh yeah. I love seeing people's like process work. Time lapses are always like really fun. And then you got the cleanup phase. and then the flats, and then the rendering. Oh yeah. Nice, nice. Awesome work. I love your style. It's so cool. And there your all of your artwork and your webtoon has like such amazing like personality. Like I love the little god that shows up to like rice you and is like teaching him stuff, but he doesn't talk like he talks like a god in the like that he talks in like with like the thy and the thous, but he's still like when he's talking about Inuyasama like bagging a baddie. I was like cracking up. It's so good. Anyway, that is everything from Nympha. Nympha is super awesome. They're one of my like OG people, been here with me since the beginning, along with Alex and Pensy here. They are also a fellow VTuber. Make sure you check out their streams. Also, please read their webtoon, Gatsuken Zaibatsu, on Webtoon. It's really good stuff. It's very entertaining and it's very pretty. All right, next up we have Prime Star Mangaverse. They didn't write anything on the main thing, so I'll just read their alts. This is the cover art for the next issue of Full Metal Spectre Blue. In this issue, Apollo, as Spectre Blue, decided in order to make some money, he will have to go out on some bounty missions in order to make ends meet while hunting down the Astromen plaguing the galaxy. Ah, so he's out here doing some farming. I love that he's got the Metroid Samus blaster kind of going on here on this arm. And then again, like I love his like designs, how it's very like Tekkaman slash Gundam like coded here. Yeah, yeah, I really like his Liquid Sun. He printed his comic book. Hell yeah. I'm so excited for him that he like got it printed, he got it published. I really love like all the designs. Like I said, they really remind me of anime I used to watch like growing up. I was always a big fan of like either like mecha or like characters that wore like mecha suits, or if they had like bio mecha. It was always like fantastic. So congratulations. Really, really happy for you. No, this is so cute. Apollo may be a stoic person, but he goes into a panic attack when a beautiful woman comes on to him. Though it's often played for laughs in the manga, the reason why he is so fearful of women is because he was once abused and tortured by Lilith and her sirens, just because Susie wanted to get back at his brother Ares. Dang, so he's got the trauma. Poor guy. That's a legitimate reason to be concerned about someone cuddling up to you because you never know, it might be a trap. Might just be a trap, but this is absolutely adorable. He's definitely going for the like I'm a celebrity, so I'm not gonna actually touch you. Somebody takes a photo here, I don't want to be accused of being a creep. And one of the supporting cast from the Outer Realms manga who occasionally helps out Jason and his friends, but mostly works alone. Bubblegum Rosie is a thrill seeker who enjoys the danger of battles. Thanks to her love of extreme sports, she has quite rebellious streak, as she is kind of selfish at times. She has the ability to use the bubblegum she chews and turn it into weapons and can even create explosives. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, I like her name, I like her design, I like how it actually ties into her fighting style. She's got good mobility here because she's got the skates going on. Does anyone hear what I've done from Transformers playing? Yeah. Yeah, it's a cover of this is Caleb Hiles. He does covers of a lot of like really cool bands. Of course, it's a cover of Linkin Park, but I'm sure Linkin Park probably was in a Transformers movie there. All of us olds are jumping to the defense there, so don't feel bad. If that's the first place you heard it, then there is nothing wrong with it. Especially if you like the song. This is Rosie's older sister, Blossom. She is a dream reader, a type of Esper who can enter dreams to battle nightmares. Ooh, that's cool. After she vanished from the nightmare's threat, after she vanquished the nightmare's threat, she leaves a white rose on the nightstand for the rescue victim to be at ease. Aw, that's super sweet of her. It's like, hey, I saw you having a nightmare. I popped in, I bopped it. Here you go. Here's a nice little like rose to show that I have done the deed and vanquished the foe. I like they've got like a rose sword here with some thorns branching out off of it. They've almost got like a porcelain doll kind of look to them with like the super round eyes. Very cute. I like it. All right, so that is everything from Prime Star Mangaverse. Congratulations on getting your book printed and published. I wish you all the success. Like I said, I really like your art style. Hopefully, here with these OC art raffles, we will get the chance for me to do some artwork of your characters. Just continue to submit your OCs to the art raffle, and eventually we will get that. I got some DMX. Let's see. Let's do. There we go. We can have some Journey. There we go for us olds out there. Ooh, is this you, Stone? Hell yeah, we got Stone Creates up next. And is this your birthday month too? Hell yeah. Thanks for the art share. I'll share some art before bed. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I do apologize as I get longer in the stream. One, my voice starts to go, and two, my reading comprehension goes to the shitter. So do not feel bad. I'm Stone, an aspiring amateur artist and writer on Wattpad who's got imposter syndrome on social media and scared, but I keep making stuff because I want to be a creator that makes worlds. I'm on Wattpad as Stone New House. Hell yeah. You know what? It when you first share your artwork, especially on the internet, it is a scary thing, but you know what? You got to realize everybody is in different spots in their art journey, and anyone that says anything negative about your art is not the type of person you want to give the time of day or interact with. The power of social media is that you have the block button. So, it's okay to receive constructive criticism, if it's something that's positive and something that leads to growth in your art journey, but anything that like is meant to insult or harm you is just useless garbage and you should just not pay any heed to those. So, let's go ahead and read these here. My OC, Cassie Olympus. She's a goddess in 1984 and a superhero OC of mine. She's holding a pretty big phone and smirking as she makes a call. I'm also experimenting on giving her freckles. I like the freckles. I'm always like a big fan of freckles. We got the huge 80s satellite phone here. Oh man, these things were crazy. Like I didn't even actually know these things like existed until I would like see them like in movies. Yeah, believe in the me that believes in you. Kick off with momentum. If you're ever feeling down, watch Gurren Lagann. That will kick your imposter syndrome and depression in the ass. It'll kick it right out of the universe. So yeah, everybody feels like an imposter, but you just the best thing to do is try to look at things from like an outside perspective. Don't compare yourself to others. If you're going to do any sorts of comparisons, what you want to do is you want to compare, like, say, do a bunch of art and then go back and look at your older art. That way you can see the steps you've taken on your journey. So never compare yourself to someone who is like in a either farther on their journey or just has a completely different style than you, because that makes a lot of difference as well. But anyway, I think this is really solid. You were not a coward at all. You went straight into a character holding an object right up close. That's like, this is a really, really brave thing to do. As someone that's like, either beginning or just sharing, you drew the hand and you did a really good job with it. I think you did an excellent job. You've even got like the shadow where the light is blocked here for her to hold it, and where it is, blocking the light when you get closer to the ear. So I think you did an excellent job here. You did a really good job with the color choices separating from the background to the foreground. You're doing excellent. I definitely keep up the good work here. You even got some like perspective on the phone here too, which is nice. Oh, I love this. Some fan art I made of Brendan Santiago's character, Mrs. Ali. She's a smart teacher who is a new character Brendan introduced a few months ago. Oh, I love this. She's so cute. She looks so friendly. You did a really good job also of representing her head wrap here. You can see that her shirt is like a textured, almost like sweater type here. Absolutely adorable. Really solid posing. You made sure that this is nice and up and down here. You see that her bottom is scooted off to the side here. So yeah, you're doing a fantastic job. I also really like that you kept like the color choices kind of all in the same kind of like hue range here. I think that worked really well for this piece. And of course, keeping this like a solid white brings a lot of attention to the focal point, which is the face. So good job. And again, you didn't shy away from the hands, you didn't hide them. So that's a really awesome thing to do. Yeah, the earth tones look awesome. Ooh, this is so good. A fan art of Asami Sato from Korra in an airbender wingsuit. Hell yeah. Man, Asami's so hot. She's so cute. Korra made the correct choice with going off to the spirit world with her beautiful girlfriend here. And I like that you also like, stuck her in the airbender uniform here. Yeah, the ultimate Avatar Otome choice. You also did a really good job here. You have two different like angles of the pose here. You have the front pose and you have a back pose here, which means like you're really like branching out there with like you're not shying away from like difficult things. So I think you're doing a fantastic job. Look at this one. You even have like perspective shot on this one. My OC Sadie Cassidy. She's a bounty hunter who is also a werewolf. She was hired to be the bodyguard of the wife of Sawyer Stanford, Beatrice Beans Stanford. Unfortunately for Sawyer, Beans and Sadie fell in love after a night of drinking and ran away together after Sawyer hurt Beans and took her eye. Oh, well, yeah, that's a good reason to go run off there. So, yeah, like I said, you got the over the shoulder, top down perspective going on here. This is again is a very challenging shot to do. So I think you're absolutely killing it. Again, you drew the hands really well here. You even have them holding a gun down here. Fantastic stuff. You're doing an awesome job. So that is everything from Stone. I am so happy that you have joined our art share. I cannot wait to see more of you on your art journey. I will definitely add you to my tag list as well, so I tag you every single week. By the way, at the end of this, I will be doing a post that will have a link to our Discord, so you guys can all join our Discord and be part of a great community. Oh my God, my beautiful wife just brought me a tea. Thank you so much. That's so helpful. Hell yeah. But yeah, don't be afraid to share. In fact, I encourage you to share. Definitely be sure to be on the lookout. I will tag you in the next art share and going on until you tell me not to. So thank you so much for sharing. You're doing a great job. You are already at a great start here. All right, next up we have Gilheim Bedos art. Again, I might be saying your name wrong. It might be Gihheim. I'm assuming it's Gilheim or Gilhem. Sorry, trying to get a sip without burning myself. It's very hot right now. They wrote, thanks for the art share. Hey everyone, I'm Gilhem, graphic designer and illustrator. I mostly do sci-fi, fantasy art. See my socials and shops below. While we have seen these in previous art shares, they are still really cool and impressive. Uh, I am not going to say quite as much, if it's something we've seen before, but it's still super impressive, and I'm definitely willing to still show it here. Really, really cool stuff. It looks like they either use 3D to set up their work, which I do a lot myself, or they just have a really good grasp on 3D forms and lighting. And then we got this cool guy worshiping the moon here. And then we have this looks like a scene straight out of like Alien Isolation here. I got PTSD just looking at this. So and then let's see. And then down here we got a few more. We got this cool Cyclops guy shooting a laser. And then we got a big old rusty boat. Ooh, nice. Hey, I hope that participating in these art streams and, interacting with these other artists and everything encourages you on your journey. Definitely keep going. If you need any advice or anything, I am an open book. You can always DM me, you can join our Discord, that kind of thing. I'm here to help. So I hope you have a great time. Have a good rest of your weekend. And then we got this cool like reactor thing here. So that is everything from Gilhem Bedos art here. Awesome stuff. If you don't have any like newer pieces here, you are more than welcome to post your older stuff. Like I said, I really like seeing everybody's development. It's always good to see where people are coming from, or maybe you have something that is like a work in progress, like a sketch or something. That would be more than welcome as well. But they have all their links on here if you guys want to check them out. Thank you so much for posting in the art share. All right, next up we have Mana Mineko Art. Yo, Aniki, thanks for the invite to another awesome art share. More art coming at you. It's the year of the horse, so a full My Little Pony dump this time. No apologies. Hey, you don't have to apologize for something you like. Never apologize. This is my McDonald's MLP toy that I crafted clothing, a katana, and spray paint cans for. It is DJ Pawn 3 vinyl scratch as KDA's member Akali. Ooh, from the music video Pop Stars. Hell yeah. She carries the paint cans and sword through loops in the waist on her pants, and her hat bears the KDA logo. I really like these like little like crafty things here where you're like taking more than one genre and like melding them together, like taking multiple IPs, doing your own like modifications. I think that's super super awesome. I really like it. Also, I love the KDA music videos. I don't really play League anymore, but I always love like League's character designs, how they do like really creative and neat things with the different champions. So this is awesome. You should definitely you should tag Riot in these so they can see that you've taken your creativity and you've blended like their characters together. Like that's super sick. I love it. And again, we got another League of Legends MLP crossover. We have Vinyl Scratch as League of Legends characters Jinx. She confidently walks forward as a blazing inferno of fire and explosions is set off behind her, and she doesn't even look at the explosion because she's cool. Her horn is lit up with a threatening burst of energy that radiates around her, and you got like the glasses down here with a little bit like of a shatter, like maybe she blew up Evelyn, possibly here. So it's looking awesome here. We got the explosions, a lot of texture. See that you cropped like the a figgle, what is that? Official logo here. I'm blending words here. Oh, Stone followed me too. Thank you for following me. I'm sorry, I have not been looking at what you guys are doing on Twitch here. Oh, and somebody gifted Pensy a sub too. Hell yeah. Yeah, new word, a figgle. Man, these anonymous people are holding us down here. Thank you so much for doing the subs. All right. But yeah, this is awesome. I absolutely love this. I see like the energy radiating from the horn. I love that you're like seamlessly blending like two IPs from different characters together. We got Jinx in her arcane outfit here, uh, mixed in with the My Little Pony. So that's super cool. I love it. And then three original pony characters that were inspired by Starbucks drinks. Rhinestone Galaxy, based off the Unicorn Frappuccino, Obsidian Umbra, Midnight Mint Mocha Frappuccino, and my old Gaia Online avatar, and Sunstone Skies Summer Skies drink. Ooh, these are really cute. I like it. I like that you even have like the drink like as like the little tattoo stamp that they got here. Yeah, this is awesome. Really, really pretty main. I love the like constellations that you have in here. And I love the little like graphic of like perhaps this like little moon or planet that maybe like, like flows around them with like an orbit. Then we have Obsidian Umbra here. Again, we have the constellations. So these all have like constellation themes in the mains and the hair. And I like how it has like, this little like kind of like clothing, like almost like a little like frilly top here as well. And they got like a little like almost like a black hole kind of like tattooing like slash marking here. And then this one down here, oh, is also super adorable. I like their little like anime bob haircut they got going on. And they've got like some sunstone like around their necks here with the gems and like a sunburst like kind of tattoo. Really cute. I like it. And an old OC, Gossamer Mist. She went through the majority of life as Pixel Prism. Though everyone called her gloomy, she was a loner and an outcast abandoned in the woods by her parents. Returning to the same woods later in life, she found herself and her purpose when she created a moon bow on the nighttime mist. She then gave herself a globe and renamed herself, inspired by her favorite artist, Monarch Jewel, and lives her life with full confidence and acceptance of who she is. Hell yeah, we got the whole character arc. We got the glow up. We got the renaming themselves, becoming a brand new identity and a brand new person full of confidence. That is awesome. Fantastic. I love the storytelling. And then here, PS, also I wanted to mention that while I do use MS Paint, and it's a program that's come a long way with more advanced tools being added, layers blending, etc., I use the classic version JS Paint on Chromebook, which is a web-based recreation for 6 years, the original before this time. Ooh, and then we get to see like the what we're working with here. Hell yeah. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, very impressive that you use MS Paint. They also use a mouse, so you know, crazy stuff there. Always very impressive work. Cannot wait to see more from you next week. Mana Mineko Art also has commissions open, so make sure you check them out if you want some beautiful MS Paint art, especially if you want some MLP here. They got you covered. Hell yeah, my beautiful wife is up next. Let me see if I can take a sip of this coffee yet. All right, we got my amazing, talented, beautiful, and couldn't possibly be glazed more wife here, Demon Lord Havoc. She wrote, "Hey, hey, I was sketching some emojis for my Twitch and Discord this week. Three Havocs, Smug, Rage, and Cheers, and one of Little Nemozine's cooking for the Palia stream day. Hope you enjoy." I love the smugness. The smugness is fantastic. I can like kind of like I can hear you imitating like the like an anime character that's like super smug. Fantastic. I love it. Again, Haven thinks she can't draw, but here she is drawing, like putting out these bangers for emote ideas here, looking super super cute. You know, especially like drawing like. Oh yeah, I need to do an updated version of her VTuber model. Um, but yeah, the lines don't look like crap. It's okay. It takes a while to get used to, like, especially like the surface of like a digital tablet. You know, building line confidence takes a while, so don't feel bad at all. I know, that's what I'm saying, Feisty. Jeez. So self-deprecating. I love this one with the like I'm gonna get you like rage like anime like spark on the eyeball. And I love like the lighting for it too. The lighting is absolutely like spot on and fantastic for this. Perfect stuff. So good. The evil glare ran through your honey lure. Yep. Disturbing all the bugs, making them all run away. So, P.S. If you're in Palia and you see Nemazine slash Demon Lord Havoc out, do not disturb them when they are catching bugs, or she will murder you. But if you also see them and you ask nicely to join their group and follow what they're doing, then she's going to be more than happy to accept you as a fellow player. And then we got the super adorable cheer. I'll curse you to vomit bugs for 3 days straight. Oh my god. Yeah, like particularly like itchy bugs. Like centipedes and things like that. But yeah, this is like super super adorable. I cannot wait to see these in action. And then this is Nemazine's cooking here. So we have like a questionable looking like egg kind of that didn't quite make it into the pot here. We have like the bubbles looking like a shy guy, kind of like sad distressed face here. We got like a burnt ass chicken leg, and then like the smell itself that's coming off of it has got like a specter like property to it. The glowing bubble that won't pop. Yep. That's awesome. I love it. It's so good. That is everything from my beautiful, wonderful, amazing wife who's the best. And if you say otherwise, I will fight you. Demon Lord Havoc. Um, can't possibly glaze you enough. Everybody's probably rolling their eyes right now as I glaze you, but you know what? I get to be proud of my wife. So sure you guys support her. Make sure that you also add her on your Twitch, so you guys can check out her streams. I try my best to hop on in the background and also give support as either a disembodied voice or as the fellow VTuber pair. So be sure to check her out. OST is helping a lot too. Thank you so much. All right, and the final person here is also a brand new person. Hell yeah, super excited. I am probably going to butcher your name, so we have Lambricart. Lambricart. So they wrote, "Hi, thanks for the opportunity to share. Hey, you are very welcome, and I'm super happy that you took the leap and you jumped into our art share. We're gonna show it off to the world. I'm still looking for art moots, so let's be friends. Hell yeah." If you are watching this or you're watching this in the future, be on the lookout for the link to the Discord. I will be posting it right after the stream so you can come hang out, make friends with us. They wrote, "Hi, I'm Tatiana, an illustrator who draws on commission. I love drawing people, anthropomorphic frogs, and emotions the most. Open to commission work and opportunities, and of course, we have all of our links there, so you can go ahead and check it out. Ooh, this is so cool already. Hell yeah, we got some tarot cards here. We have the Empress, we have Justice, the Hermit, and the High Priestess. rendered very, very well. Very awesome, like a painterly style here. And I like they took like oh my god, I'm tripping over my own tongue. I like how they took their rendered cards here and put it over what looks to be a an actual photograph. But if they also rendered this photograph, which is possible, they also did an amazing job with that because that looks really, really crazy. But yeah, fantastic work. Really, really solid. Yeah, very good like painterly skills. And I'm always a sucker for tarot. Ooh, look at this guy here. We got this devilish looking guy giving a like I'm about to get into some trouble here. Possibly going to woo or smooth somebody, into getting into some possibly maybe like fun trouble even. Yeah, I agree. Definitely could do some like Magic the Gathering cards or some sort of like tabletop cards. That would be like awesome and fantastic. Yeah, he might be a bottom. That is true. He might be looking for a for a top there. I love the teal lighting here. The backlighting is a really good choice for the complement for like the magentas and pinks and reds that we have here in the skin. You also did a really good job of showing that there is a transparency on the flesh on the ear, so it's gonna light up the inside of the ear. It's always like a really good touch. Um, Looks fantastic. Like I love like the purple like scleras also with the irises, and then you have like the hints of like the green here in like the highlights as well. Really, really good. Really nice like bounce lighting and everything. Solid work. I'm gonna take another sip of tea here. All right, we have a male elf dancer here putting on a show, maybe doing some sort of like traditional dance for like their people. Super like solid anatomy work, really nice like solid posing as well. You can see that they used references here to make sure that the posing was correct. Lighting is super, super nice. I love like the little like slightly reflected surface that you have down here. Really, really solid work. Really, really nice rendering. Oh my god, not have anything on. I mean, he's got enough on. He's got his main puppy parts here covered, so we're still good here on Twitch. So, oh no, Alex is switching teams for the elf. God damn. All right. Hey, we all support you in your switch there, Alex. So, may you have a fantastic new relationship. Uh, we'll just have to support Sonda and yeah. Or, maybe he's the new member of the family. I know, right? He's got like, the sluttiest waist, like the perfect anatomy, and he's a dancer. Monogamy in this economy exactly. Hell yeah. And then we got an orc warrior guy. He looks like he has like just completed like a mission or a quest. He is like super excited. You know what would make this even more epic? If like the lighting on this was all dark and he had like a big like lightning bolt like crashing like directly like behind him and it was like all backlighting. That would be like super like epic. Like that'd be really, really cool. I know, man. Hell yeah. This is awesome. Yeah, super solid anatomy. This orc has got lats for days. Super beefy Ninja Turtle neck we got going on here. Yeah, it reminds me of Hulk. And he's got some tucks. But he also looks like he's like a really like friendly orc as well. So, you know, it looks like he has a great personality. Awesome, awesome artwork. I'm super impressed. This artwork is fantastic. You got top tier painting skills here. Welcome to our art stream. Your art is just absolutely fantastic. So that is Lem Bricart. If I'm saying your name wrong, I do apologize. Like I said, I am a VTuber, so it is only natural for me to say it incorrectly. All right, so let's do a reload here just to make sure that we did not miss anyone. I'm just gonna take a quick little scroll here to see if anyone else has popped in last second. So far, so good. All right, that was everyone here. Let me throw you guys in the lobby here and let me see if I can find anything that I can share. Well, I'll definitely, of course, share the one I just did for Nympha because I'm really proud of it. It turned out really well and I had so much fun creating it. So, let's bring up that one. And then let me also find something maybe older. I'm trying to find stuff that I haven't shared because like I'm starting to actually run out of things to share, which means I really need to step it up and do more artwork. So let's see. This one. I'll do one more here. We'll do some of my VTuber models here that people may have not seen that I've created. Move these down here. Anticipation. Okay, cool. So the first one I have here is a VTuber model that I did for my friend Shay the Book Dragon. It has not been rigged yet, so she has not started using it. But this was her design that we came up with here. Uh, she wanted like a very like naturey kind of like you know, uh, VTuber model here. So we've got like all sort of like leaves and stuff and the wings. It's got like wooden horns here with like some moss on them. I know. Let's zoom on in here. We've got like the reflective scaling here. Kind of like the iridescent hair. And she's got like the cozy like sweater, like kind of like hoodie. And then she's got some things that she can hold her books with on her belts. Oh yeah, and there's also like wood grain like on like her body and her face. And on the torso here. Yeah, and they got like trees on the sleeves and some like cozy socks with like the little like claws coming out of the boots here. Oh, those are the other type of scales that she has. And then I gave like a purple scaling, like kind of like underskirt, kind of like outfit on the boobas. And then this over here is her tail, like she's got a big old thicky tail. So, but yeah, I had a lot of fun creating it. It took a hell of a long time, of course. Of course, there's the hands as well. But yeah, so that's one of the VTuber models that I created. Like I said, hasn't been rigged that yet, so maybe one of these days she will start streaming. So this is my sister-in-law's VTuber model that I made for her, and she does actually stream. So this is Little Nugget. It is Havoc's little sister. She really likes Final Fantasy, so the idea for this one was to make her into a Final Fantasy protag using designs that I took from she plays a lot of Final Fantasy 14, so it was mostly inspired by that. But let's go ahead and let's zoom in here. I gave her like some really fluffy ears, kind of like there is a like a kitty kind of race in Final Fantasy 14. So Final Fantasy, of course, always has like tons of like belts and like layering. So I decided to incorporate that. She also has a gun blade. Um, so I put it as like the ultimate weapon version of like a gun blade with like a crystalline like glowing blade. It's got some like metal texturing and inlays in there where the trigger and everything is. And then I gave her like Vivi from Final Fantasy 9 is her favorite characters, so I gave like Vivi's kind of like pants have like these kind of striping on them. And then I have like almost like a knight kind of like greaves on this one side here as well, and her hair is like super long, so it goes all the way to the back. Oh my god, I don't even know how many hours they took to make. Like several, probably probably like a month or more at least. And then this is her tail back here, and she has a yellow utility materia in the bangle on the tail. Yeah, but she does actually stream on this model. So I think I think it's like this. I think that's how she spells it. So if you guys want to watch her stream, she's absolutely adorable. She's super. Yeah, she's linked on Havoc's page. And I think she's linked on mine as well. She plays a lot of Marvel Rivals. She'll play cute games. She'll play Final Fantasy. Again, she's Havoc's little sister, so she's awesome. So you guys should definitely check her out. But yeah, but if anybody's interested in VTuber model art, I do know how to make it. I don't know how to rig it. That's something I do need to learn to do. So I could even actually take these ones that I've already created and maybe try to rig them myself and learn. Here is another VTuber model here. This is for Windseeker. They wanted to have a monster or a creature VTuber model, so we went with a gargoyle here. This one took me, I think this one took me the longest. But yeah, lots of like detail here. Yeah, I need to learn it because of the Atomi game. But this one took a really long time to make. Um, he also has like a cigar I made for him because he wanted a VTuber model that can smoke because he is a smoker and he wanted to be able to smoke and drink on his VTuber model. And then this is like little pedestal down here. But yeah, this one took forever. It took so long to make this one. But yeah, this is for Windseeker. Hopefully he also gets this rigged at some point. I also pity anyone who tries to rig this one. It is a bit more complex, especially like in the head area. There's a lot of these separate parts and layering here, so let me get some more tea. But yeah, I had a good time making it. It was definitely an interesting challenge. And then this is a VTuber model I made for our friend Familiar Magic. This one is actually rigged. She just hasn't started streaming yet. But this one was a lot of fun too here. She's like a if I remember right, she was gonna do like tarot readings and grids and stuff like that. So we went with like kind of like a celestial, like almost like kind of kitsune kitty ear character here. We can zoom on in and we have like there's like stars in the eyes, stars for like the freckles like on the face. And then she's got some flowers here on and feathers in the these are actually her hair, not actual ears. They're just supposed to look like ears. And then we got some stars on the see-through like body undersuit here. More stars on the sleeve to the hoodie, and we got some constellations uh on the corset here. Got some stars on the hips. Then, of course, more stars and skirts and underskirts. And then she has some leggings with some more stars and constellations. And then some little boots. And then she's got like the goddess kind of style like wraps here that overlap and come behind. Well, so yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. This one is rigged and ready to go. Um, the same rigger that rigged Havoc's model rigged this one. I don't remember their name. I really need to. Now you're back to being straight. Yeah, yeah. This one was a lot of fun. She was a lot. She was very fun to draw. And then, of course, the final art for the day that I'm going to show is this is the latest OC art raffle winner that I did for Nympha here. This is their OC Ensign from their webtoon God King Zaibatsu. Uh, had a lot of fun with this. Yeah, she has the strongest back ever. Gave her some like ice coming off her big sword here because she does have like ice powers and abilities. She has a pet jellyfish, so I put a bunch of jellyfish in the background. Got some like little bit of like snowflakes going around here. She is battle crazy, so that's why I gave her such like dramatic lighting here. Really, really likes to fight. Worked really hard on doing some like material rendering here. And I actually used a brand new line brush for this artwork here that I'd never used before. So I'm super glad that it worked out. Um, I use a lot of Mark Burnett's like workflows and his brushes to learn how to do things. So that is the final thing that I had to show for today. Let me throw you guys back in the lobby here so we can go ahead and do a wrap up. I want to thank everybody so much for participating in these art shares. These are my favorite streams of the week. Of course, any stream I get to do artwork or hang out with you guys is always a good one. So really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I rendered the heck out of the materials and the personalities, you know. Um, Again, be on the lookout. I will repost this post on Blue Sky. I will tag everyone that participates. I will also be putting up a link to the Discord. So be on the lookout for that. If you like the kind of content I do, please follow me to see when I go live. Please consider subscribing. That would help me out tremendously. Shameless self plug. I do have a VGen. There is a link on all my socials and on my Twitch. I have emergency commissions open, so please, please, please consider that. Um, well, I'm glad you have a good time, Alex. I definitely I love having you here. I love seeing you and your family and hanging out. So we always appreciate you here, buddy. Um, I will be not streaming tomorrow, but I'll be back on Monday to play some more Resident Evil 2. And if I happen to finish that up on Monday, then I will start working on John 117's OC art on Tuesday. If not, it'll be on Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great weekend otherwise, and have a great night. I'll catch you later.